So we need 5 values for this idea of the quartiles and the 5-number summary. But before I jump into how to actually do it, because it's not actually a very difficult process to do, let me just explain the purpose of it, right? So when we're trying to split up a data set, okay, the median, obviously, if I use the median, it's the middle value, isn't it? What would that split up my data set into? How many groups would it split it up into? I just split it up into 2, right? Imagine that the median, you're just kind of like making a cut, right? You're making the median, okay, there's the middle, I'm cutting it into 2 pieces. If I wanted 4 pieces, so we call them quartiles, so 4 equal pieces, how many numbers would I need then? How many cuts do I need to make? 3. I need 3 values to cut it out into 4 pieces, okay? The reason why I have a 5-number summary, I'll come back to that later, right? But just to introduce this idea of quartiles, let's go and look at something like this, okay? This is a graph of actually some data related to Galston High School, okay? So they call them the 4 quartiles, and this is called an ICSIA score. It basically tells you about how wealthy people are, related to your income or related to a whole heap of things, right? And so if you look at these, right, you see that these reds, they're all 25%. So that's saying in Australia, we've split up these people into groups of 25%. And if I look at this, I can see generally where students fall. You can see for the most part, it looks quite closely aligned. Which one looks like the biggest quarter to you? So we've got all these quarters here. Yeah, this one here. So it says the middle, there's 2 middle quarters, right? So when we're looking at wealth and affluence, we see that at the top end, we've got about 19% in that upper quartile. We've got 19% in that bottom quartile. And in the middle there, we've got 33% and 29%. So you can see it's still pretty spread out, okay? But that's the reason why we want to use quartiles, okay? It helps us group data into different things and analyze and help us understand them better, okay? How do we actually do this process? Well, we need a couple of things. We need actually cut those groups up. We need the median, the lower quartile, and the upper quartile. And I'll show you how to do this. Let's say I had a data set like this. I'll write this off. So, say something like this. 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13. So, to do this, right, to make a 5-number summary, I need these values, okay? So, let me start with the median, because the median is still pretty easy to find. I know how to do that. I know to find the median, I need these 2 middle values there. So, the median, that's just going to be 7. To find Q1 and Q3, we call them the lower and upper quartiles. What I need to do is, once I've got this group here, then I want to find the median of the 2 groups that I've got here. Okay, so the median of the 2 groups that I've got there. So my median was 7. So like I said, that splits up my data into 2 groups here. Now I want to find the medians of the 2 groups that I've created, right? So the lower one, Q1, well, I just look at this group here. What's the median of this group? Just 4, the value that's in the middle, right? Q3, again, I look at this group here and say, okay, what's the value in the middle? That's just 10. And then to finish it off, finish off the 5-number summary, I say, what's the min and max values? Well, that's just 3 and 13. And that's it. That's your 5-number summary. Okay. That's one of the ways that we can summarize data. Instead of just writing all the numbers, we write these numbers here. Now, for such a small data set, it doesn't seem like you've done anything, right? Because there's not too many numbers to begin with. But for much larger data sets, this is very useful. Let's look at another one. So, first step, what do I want to do? I want to find the median. So I just want to count how many values there are first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So where should the middle value occur? Well, it's the value that splits my data into 2 equal groups, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I select that 5th value, okay, you can see I've got 2 equal groups like that. Okay. So again, just being careful when you've got an even and odd number. You just want to be careful that you're choosing the one that splits your data set into 2 equal groups. So my median is just going to be 14. What I want you to do for me now is find Q1 and Q3 and write that down for me. Let's come back to these values. Flynn, can you help me out? What's Q1 in this case? Not sure? Okay, well, to work it out, right, all you need to do is, okay, what's the median of this lower group? So what's the middle value here? I've got an even number of values, so what do I actually need to do here? Yeah, find the average of two values. So that's 10 plus 11 on 2, or just 10.5. Abby, what's the median of this upper group? Upper quartile? 17, well done. Okay, I've got my min, that's just 10, and my max is 21. Okay.